Welcome to the Storj Institute interview series. We are blessed to have YouTube celebrity, creator of Bloodalytics, the speaker at every blockchain and crypto conference worldwide, and so much more, Crypto Blood. Now, CB and I met 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it's been literally just an exchange of energy, information, deep dive into all things blockchain. And every time I talk to Crypto Blood, there is something brand new that he knows that I didn't know. So now you're going to know what he knows because he's going to share it all with us now. Crypto Blood, please just give us a brief intro about yourself, about your channel, about the current projects that you're on, and then we'll roll with it from there.
I'm going to be the only one that hits you with the sound. Round of applause.
Sound effects are part of the deal.
Of course, that's part of the signing up to do an interview with Crypto Blood. So Christine has been, we haven't seen each other in a long time or talked in a while. So we were talking prior to going live here, and it's just great to catch up with you and your vibes. And we always have a great time conversing. So I'm so glad to be here. But yeah, man, I'm Crypto Blood, Jerry Rucker. Been in the space since 2013. So we're talking about 11 years of blockchain, the blockchain experience, the Bitcoin experience, and just seeing the evolution of it. It's crazy. Maybe we'll talk about later about what I feel about the space right now. But it's been a journey. It's been crazy to see where we are from literally no one knowing about it when I was in the space to CNBC talking about it, then Bloomberg or vice versa. I can't remember which came first. And then it just slowly morphed into more and more people talking about it. Now it's pretty much a part of the investment lexicon. So everyone is talking about or knows about Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other ones. So it's just crazy, Christine, to see the growth and evolution. Though I do have, I still have a probably OG libertarian view about crypto and Bitcoin, specifically that I don't see today. And I don't see that being that initial ethos being expressed in today's cryptocurrency industry. So maybe we can even get into that. But it's just exciting to see Orange Man is on board with it. He's coming out swinging. Looks like he's going to be very pro crypto. He's hiring some great people in key positions that's going to help this industry. So I'm excited.
Well, that's, we'll see where it goes from here. Everything is always in a transitional period. I feel like when, the powers that be shift and change hands. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm curious, give me, paint a picture of your life before Bitcoin and blockchain, because I don't even know really like what your professional background was before, what you were doing, who you were, and then what your introduction was to make this shift that you've made that's created a career for you in this space.
Yeah, so prior to Bitcoin, I was a web developer. So I ran a web development company I still actually have a couple of clients that I still, have contact with and maintain their websites. But it's going on 17 years now. But I kind of put that on the back burner once I found Bitcoin. I just kind of went all in on Bitcoin. But yeah, I was a web developer. It was pretty much a solo entrepreneur, and then in college, and then in my senior year, I dropped out of college because I was making more money than professors, and they couldn't tell me anything. I'm like, you guys are teaching me stuff that was because I went to school for computer science with a concentration in software engineering. But the things that they were teaching us at that point, because I was so heavily involved on the net, on the web. Like I just saw that they were way behind, and it wasn't all colleges, but specifically the college that I was at, which was supposed to be like a top tier college for engineering. I said, no, I have to kick the can and keep this thing moving. So that's when I kind of just went full time focusing on my web development company. And then, like I said, in March of 2013, I was reading a Zero Hedge article and saw something about this very interesting concept of decentralized money. And I was reading and reading, and I'm like, gosh. And at the same time, yeah, I was in web. I failed to mention this, but I was in web development, but I was also trading Forex. So when I saw the concept of Bitcoin, it literally was a merger of those two kind of ideas of money and technology. And so when I saw the article that night on Zero Hedge, I literally 1:00, 1:30 that night, I went to CVS. Well, figured out how to buy it. Saw it was Mount Gox. I looked at their instructions and stuff. I was like, okay, so you gotta go to like a MoneyGram or a CVS or something. So I followed all the instructions, bought my first 5, and was hoping that it was going to come through and credit to my account, and it did. And so it was on popping from there. The next day I went and bought some more, and the rest is history.
Wow. See, we're talking OG when you're mentioning MoneyGram and go like a lot of obviously the new school doesn't even know the
Yeah,
connections.
because back then there was no Coinbase. I think Coinbase hadn't launched yet. They were in the midst of launching, because I got in March. I think Coinbase may have launched, I want to say end of 13, I believe. So there was no easy way, user-friendly way to onboard to crypto. You had what was the site called? I've never used it, but there was a site where you can go and peer-to-peer transact with Bitcoin. So you can find people in your local area that want to buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin, and you match up. I can't remember the name of that platform. I never used it, but you had stuff like that. But other than going through Charlie Shrem, the legendary Charlie Shrem from BitInstant, other than going through that, you had to do peer-to-peer, or you could actually, people don't know this, Christine, I'm really dropping some OG stuff. You could buy Bitcoin using Linden Bucks from Second Life. There was an actual market for Linden Bucks to Bitcoin. There's a trading market for that. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So,
well, and I think that's, and especially even today, it's still the thing, is that people don't have that level of confidence in making their first purchase or getting their first wallet, or their onboarding process now is so much easier and straightforward, and there's so many options. But then, I mean, how did your pre-blockchain skills help you to create this now, crypto blockchain superpower that you are now? Because you had to have that sense of familiarity to be able to even say, I'm going to put a few dollars in this thing and see where it goes. So how did even just, your skills from university and as a coder help you to really get into the market in the way that you did?
it was just a perfect storm, really, because in 08, I was really hit hard. Actually, it was a delayed hit for me in my business. 08 happened, but I didn't get hit until about 2010. So it's a 2-year delay roughly in my sector of business, which was, web development and everything. Because there's a trickle down effect, right? So if I'm servicing, I'm a B2B, I'm servicing primarily other businesses, their website needs, and I'm doing print as well, fulfilling print, stationery needs, just all around marketing things. So, but there's a delay, right? Because if they get hit in 08, they see a slowdown. It may take a little time for them to say, I don't need a website anymore, or I'm going to cut back on some stuff. So I didn't get hit until 10. And I started going down the rabbit hole of what is money, what is currency, gold, silver, precious metals. So it's literally those 3 elements: my tech side, my trading side, knowing currencies, and then me going down the rabbit hole in 2010 up until 13 of me figuring out what would really happen in 08 and the monetary system, and how it wasn't what I thought it was, and what I was taught that it was. So that's those 3 elements helped me like say, aha, this could be a game changer for humanity, this
Yeah.
blockchain stuff.
So just to play off of that, what do you feel like is the biggest blockchain or Bitcoin myth that you've busted since joining the space?
That's a good question. A myth.
Like the thing that you feel like that is preventing people from getting in, or at that time prevented people from getting in, that you were like, this is definitely something that is worth my time, effort, and energy to completely shift careers.
Right, internet money. So they said it was internet money, it's fake money. But what is real money? There is no real money or fake money. It's what intrinsic value humanity and the people around you place on said thing.
Yeah.
$100 bill in 1979 had $100 on it, but that same $100 bill today is not worth. It should really have a $4. It should say 4 on it instead of 100, right? It's lost that much of its value, but they still print a $100 bill, and we're supposed to take that for the nominal value of $100. So it's all an illusion, and value is only created through community and trust. And so that's where people really missed out on early stages of Bitcoin, not understanding that it was it was internet money, but so what? It couldn't be manipulated. There was a fixed supply, and that's all you needed, for it to be something great and really hold value. So
how is that understanding and your understanding of the blockchain and decentralized space reshaped your view on tech and innovation as a whole?
it really hasn't reshaped my view on it. I just wish that our here in the States, at least, and maybe I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we will start to see that. But we've been really slow to embrace this blockchain tech.
Yeah.
And the reason is for monetary value or monetary control. They want to control the flow and be rent seekers and skim off of the top. And so that's why we've been kind of lagging behind other nations in regards to adopting this new technology, but it will come at some point. And when it does, it will, I think, create more of an equitable environment for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll flatten the curve,
Yeah.
and hopefully. So I think it will. It's not a hopefully. I know it will, but the phase we're in right now, they're Wall Street, the bankers and everything, they have, in my opinion, co-opted and taken over Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies through ETFs, futures, and all that. So they've taken over it so that they can control the price, but they can never control the value. That's the difference. People conflate price and value. They're two different things. So they will be able to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. I think they already have manipulated. I've talked about this on my stream many times. Bitcoin should be, I think, valued at almost $1 million today, but it's been suppressed and manipulated. Its price has been because of the different avenues that Wall Street has implemented and taken over with BlackRock and these ETFs. And we have spot ETFs, futures ETFs, COMEX. I mean, it's just out of control. But that's their phase of financialization. That's all they know how to do, is financialize everything. And so that's what we're going through right now with Bitcoin and crypto. But they can't stop the actual intrinsic value of Bitcoin, which is, I don't have to have my Bitcoin in a Coinbase account. I don't have to have it in a Kraken account, a Binance account, a JP Morgan. They're trying to not self custody, but custody their clients' funds, cryptos now. Like, why? What are we doing? You literally don't need that. So thankfully, I can still self custody. I can keep my funds in my own wallet. Not your keys, not your cheese, as Zay would say.
Yes.
But
Shout out to Bitcoin Zay.
yeah, that's something that they can't take away. So that's the value part of Bitcoin and cryptos that we've really gotten away from. But it's all good, because if and when it's needed, we can always extract that value part of blockchain.
Yeah. This is, I think, the things that blow people into the space, is that, like, what are some of the major blockchain applications that blew your mind, and like what really has evolved in the space since you got in that you feel like are like the big leaps and bounds? And even as we, everybody's talking about AI now as like the major player in the game, what have you seen as like the major stepping stones?
You're gonna be surprised by this. I haven't seen many yet. I'm being honest with you. Only thing that I can say that was very impressive and is impressive is the DeFi aspect or subgenre of blockchain. That is fascinating to me. So seeing that whole DeFi world really come out of nowhere, you got all these like bonding curves and people, all this new like financial rhetoric and terminology and concepts. They're not really new concepts, but they've been, it's like 2.0, right? And implemented in a decentralized manner, which is wonderful. So again, that's the part of the value of blockchain that we're extracting. So the DeFi world is going to be something that we will see a lot of growth out of, but is nowhere near where it's going to be. So that's why that's the only thing I can say right now. Honestly, everything else has been experimental and mostly speculative. Most of this stuff has been a speculative experiment for the participants, right?
Yeah.
So they want to just see number go up. And a lot of it is a lot of people are suffering from the greatest fool theory. So again, it's fairly early in the S curve. So I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Well, what's been your biggest blockchain challenge and how did you crack it? What was the major hurdle for you?
I wouldn't say I've had a blockchain challenge other than getting companies to adopt it and understand the concept and value of it. And the reason that is a challenge is because the onboarding process is so tenuous. It's hard for people to do. It's hard for companies to onboard fluidly as if they were using Cash App, right?
Yeah.
So that's the competitor. That's the direct competitor with Bitcoin and the crypto markets are apps like Cash App and Zelle and so on and so forth, where there's no friction. You can send money instantly to other people around the country, around the world with no problem. So, we have to, and, again, I think the only way people are going to see again, I'm using the word value, the value in Bitcoin and crypto is when we are in a state of crisis, when and if the banking systems freeze up like they did in 08, and almost did in 2019. A lot of people don't know that as well. 2019 was on the precipice of another 08 moment where stuff was really locking up in the banking, shadow banking realm.
Yeah.
But when we see a moment like that, or if we see a moment like that, that's when the true value of Bitcoin and the cryptos will shine, and those who are already in it will benefit, and those who aren't will have to pay a price.
Yeah.
So again, value, price. That's going to be the theme for today's interview: value and price.
I love it because that needs to be the focal point, I think, of the conversation, because people, get wrapped up in whatever the latest, dip is, or whatever bull run or a bear market or what, what's happening. It's like, well, we got to be big picture about this, because this is the
Right.
long haul. This is, the future of innovation and technology. So
Exactly.
let's get closer into your projects, your current projects that you're working on. Obviously, you're blowing up on your YouTube channel. You're constant. I mean, if anybody wants to know anything that's going on in the crypto blockchain world, we check out your channel for, the first bit of news. I don't care what CNN or anybody else is talking about. You're ahead of the game on that. So talk to me a little about where you're going with the channel, and then the other projects that you have going on, because I know you have a lot of businesses within that business. So talk to me about that.
Right. So the channel, it's called now the Red Nugent, kind of play off of Ted Nugent. I don't know if you know who Ted Nugent is. Old school
Tell
rock
the
star
people.
guy. Yeah. So he's actually from Michigan. And it was funny. One of my viewers was like, man, you should be called the Red Nugent. because I'm from Michigan. And so I was like, man, that's a good one. So yeah, the Red Nugent is the channel, and it, daily crypto news. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we usually do some like trading specific videos, but I also do like interviews. I talk to various people within crypto, not in crypto, just in culture. I'm all over the place. I just like talking to people and having fun and having great conversations, and that's what I always thrive or strive to do. I'll be having Reggie Middleton on soon. I don't know when this
Ooh,
is going to be aired, but man, he's still in a huge battle, man, and a lot of people don't know about that situation. So I always want to, when I can, bring light to that. Reggie is one of the first patent owners of blockchain, specifically more in the deep. We just talked about DeFi realm, so he's got some strong patents that really cover a lot of the DeFi uh, activities that you see on the blockchains, and a lot of companies are using today. So he's battling that out right now, and hopefully he'll be rewarded for that. But so yeah, that's what I do on a daily with the channel. After the new year, I will be starting a new initiative here in the city, because in Detroit, the space for blockchain is very, very it's not non-existent, really, to be honest with you. There are meetups here and there, but I want to bring together a collective of individuals, professionals in tech, and just have a ball and do it every week. Have speakers come in, because I know a lot of people in the blockchain space. I want to have people come into the city. I At one point I did one event. I only did one event here in the city, and I brought Max Kaiser and Stacy in. They came in to show me some love. I had them talk. They were doing their I think it was called Bitcoin Rage tour at that point in 2018, I believe, or 19. So I'm going to do stuff like that again, but on a larger scale, more organized, and not as a one-off, but as a weekly thing, and really just facilitate. Because honestly, Christine, I think that blockchain is huge, but I think AI is even bigger.
yeah.
I get the same feeling that I had when I found out about blockchain. That's the same feeling I have about AI. But there's a feeling of excitement, but there's a feeling of actual worry as well, because I know that this is the last or biggest disruptor that we probably will ever see,
Mm-hmm.
this AI movement. And I was actually very early on AI as well. One of my
Well,
first videos on AI was maybe 4 years ago.
yeah, we
I
called
talked
each other.
about,
I remember we used to call each other the AIOGs. I have that on my LinkedIn profile.
yeah. So I was bringing my audience up to speed with GTP2 at that
Yeah.
time. I had been following it since GTP1, but it started to make leaps and bounds of progress in GTP2. And so that's when I did my first video about it. And I don't really do too many videos on it on my channel. I just really stay up abreast to what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that, and it's moving so fast and going to disrupt so many industries. People need to really be prepared. So that's what this collective is all about: blockchain and AI. I have a name in mind, but I don't want to tell anyone so they don't steal it. But yeah, we'll be launching that after the new year. So we
Well, I love it.
trying to line up the sponsors and all of that
All right.
business.
Well, definitely, Storj Institute definitely interested in that. So we'll make sure that we're partnering up as much as possible. We love
Absolutely.
supporting everything that you're doing. So that'll be a
Hmm.
big thing. So because we're in the AI conversation now, especially, how do you feel like AI in particular and emerging technology has boosted the efficiency of your work? What are you using? What's your go-to AI applications right now, and what are you using it for to
Oh
help?
my God, fully integrated within my workflow on a day basis. I use Descript for all my video editing. I don't know if you've heard of Descript.
Yeah,
Okay, so
game
Descript I
changer.
use game changer. You know, you dump your file in there, your video file, and it transcribes it into a Word document essentially, and you can just edit the Word document and it edits the video. It's amazing. So that's one thing that I use. Of course, Chat GPT. I use Gemini. I have the pro version of Gemini. I'm using Midjourney. So I use those tools on a daily basis for, you know, help with thumbnails, help with titles, help with descriptions, all that stuff. So it's necessary, I think, to really improve your efficiency.
Talk a little bit about the pro version of Gemini and because that's really one of the more recently emerging platforms and applications. Talk to me a little bit about how you're using it and why you've drifted into that a little bit more, even.
No, I actually think it sucks.
Oh, you do? So why are you using the
sucks.
pro version?
Because now you gotta watch Google, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta watch them. When I upgraded to Gemini Pro, it sucked so bad. Like a month or two later, I tried to like cancel it, but what they did was, when you upgrade to Pro, it like wraps it into additional storage on your Google account. So it's like you're paying for additional storage and Gemini Pro. So if you cancel Gemini Pro, it takes away your additional storage, and that's how they get you. Yeah, sneaky. Yeah. So I don't like Gemini Pro at this point. They are very careful with their responses. They don't like to respond to things that you ask for. They say some things are too political, and I will ask the same question over on Chat GPT and not have a problem at all.
Yeah.
And I don't even use the pro version of that one.
Yeah, I've had that problem. Yeah, I've gone through between Perplexity, Gemini, and ChatGPT. I'll ask all three and get very different answers. And lately, Perplexity has been a little on the censorship side as well. So it's ironic that ChatGPT is really just giving us the real.
ChatGPT, from what I'm hearing, is their model is actually so far more advanced than Gemini, which is Google's model. Well, Google's public model. There's a private or internal model of Gemini that's a lot more robust, called Lambda, I think, which has been out for like 2 years or so, or maybe even longer. It's the same. Lambda is the same one that remember the guy got fired from Google because he said that it was Lambda. Lambda was sentient.
Yes. Yeah. We were in
Gemini is we were.
Yes. We were
So
there.
Gemini is a watered down version, highly watered down version of Lambda. So, but for public usage, they're saying that OpenAI has the biggest gap in competitive advantage over all of the other ones. So much so that their latest version that's not public, but the latest version, which may be stronger than Lambda, the latest version, you have Google and Microsoft investing in OpenAI for this round their round of funding they're going after. So that lets you know, like, it looks like OpenAI is the top dog, and we'll see.
Yeah. Well, how has that space unlocked innovation that you might not have thought was possible when you first got into the space?
It's not really innovative it doesn't unlock innovation for the human so much, but it just unlocks innovation for society in general, not for the individuals per se. Because as you stated earlier before we went live, you know, information is now commoditized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary because you can have a doctorate and that means almost nothing. Of course, your experience helps, but even the gap between the delta between experience and knowledge, your knowledge and experience and AI, that gap is closing.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, man, this is the most disruptive time that humans have ever been in, and it's going to be interesting how this plays out. Even from music, like a lot of my tracks on my channel, my theme song is all generated from AI. The
Yeah.
rapper, the beat, everything. So it's gonna be interesting.
Well, how do you think AI is going to, and blockchain as they evolve in this space, how do you think it's going to revolutionize your industry in the next decade? I mean, I don't even know if we can say decade. Let's say the next 5 years.
It's not even gonna be a decade. It'll be in the next 2 years to 3 years, because see, humans can't. It's hard for us to measure exponential growth. We
Mm-hmm.
can't track it. So we miss it. So in the next 2 to 3 years, and maybe even sooner, you're going to see like possibly new ways of even having distributed ledger technologies, like even new ways of doing it. We have DAGs, right? Like Hedera Hashgraph is a DAG. There are some other, they're not blockchains, but other DLTs that are DAGs. But I'm assuming that AI is going to figure out an even more efficient way to share information and consensus that we haven't even thought of. That's way more efficient. And so I think you're going to see another boom in the blockchain industry within literally the next year and a half to 2 years.
So
So the
use your
landscape is
crystal
going to look
ball.
different.
Yeah, what's the next big thing? I mean, what do you think is like really going to be like the next thing that blows people away and gets people
Well,
onboarded?
some type of some new layer one blockchain. I don't know, it doesn't exist yet, but some new innovative layer one blockchain that achieves consensus in a way we haven't seen before, and in a speed that we haven't seen before, and a security level that we basically, the trilemma, right? Remember the trilemma thing? I think AI is going to solve that for blockchain, and many other things, like in pharmaceuticals, new drugs, new synthetic drugs, and new, like, it's just going to open up a new age, man, that it's just, I don't even know. It's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Well, this is not your grandmother's blockchain.
No. Yeah, no. And grandmother's blockchain is only like 12 years old.
Exactly.
13 years old. So insane.
So what are you most hyped about right now in the space? Like in your space, in your industry, and what you're doing, what are you most hyped about? And then what do you see happening in the space around you that just really gets you excited and just ready and there for it?
So I'm most excited for GameFi, the GameFi industry, to really prosper and grow. I think it's been held back here in the States primarily because of regulation or lack of regulation, regulatory clarity. So that's what I'm most excited about, because I think you get a GTA 6 and an environment and a blockchain together. That's a whole nother world. People literally, like Second World, people were making a living off of Second World back in the day, but you're going to literally see new economies come out of nowhere and be born from just merging, your games and blockchain and like those economics. So
Well, I think the reshaping of global economics is something you and I have been talking about since day one, because we feel like this is the access, for underrepresented people in the space to be able to have an even playing field. How do you feel that blockchain and AI can be kind of the superhero for current societal challenges, whether it's, access to healthcare, whether it's career options? I mean, I feel like even the educational space, we always joke about YouTube University. Like, where do you think blockchain and AI is going to really come in to level the playing field a little bit more for people? And how do you think, people are going to be able to get access and really shift the entrepreneurial space?
So the great thing about AI is that specifically you look at like Open AI and the other model that was built that's more so for graphics and stuff. I can't remember the name right now, but we're to the point where you can basically compact or compress the entirety of Chat GPT on I think within a gig of hardware space. So if that's the case, that means you can have this immense library, large language model on a gig of hard drive or space offline. So it just it opens it up. So that means you can educate people across the country, across the globe, with no care about connectivity from an internet perspective. Knowledge has been compressed into a gigabyte of space, and that's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane. So and so we'll get a more efficient, more um, better at compressing that data to the point where the next chat GPT model, if it's 5 or whatever it is, we get that down to maybe 500 MBs. That's all of the knowledge compressed to 500 MBs. That's powerful, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the direction we're going to go, is uh, teaching kids and societies that don't have access to internet and stuff. That's wonderful to me.
Yeah. I just feel like it's game changing for, these small isolated communities or tech isolated communities that desperately need this technology in order to
And
stay
again,
relevant.
AI is doing what I thought blockchain would have done.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
why AI is even bigger than blockchain, because the blockchain, you kind of still needed that old world infrastructure for it to run on, meaning the internet. And I mean, of course, there are ways you can transmit transactions over low frequency waves and all that, sure, but it's not scalable. But you take what I just talked about, compressing knowledge down to a gigabyte of space. You can take that anywhere in rainforest, Congo, wherever, and educate people in every language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Immediately. Well, this is
immediately.
the thing. You've created this unique niche in the blockchain crypto space. What is your best advice? What's the secret sauce for onboarding more underrepresented people, more people of color, more women contributors into this space? How do they do it?
Ah, man, that's a question I don't know if I can answer. Like, because it's really it's a self-initiated thing. It's almost like religion, or when you have that wake up moment. You can't force someone to open their third eye, right? They have to do it for themselves. I can talk to you until you're blue in the face, or I'm blue in the face, and it still won't happen. You're gonna have suffer from cognitive dissonance, right? So it's kind of an inner thing. I don't know what to say to that. That's a good question, Christine. I have no clue. People have to wake up for themselves and see it, that the world is changing quickly. And
Well, I think that, we've talked about this so much is that, I always feel like blockchain was, this almost poster child for diversity and inclusion, for bringing people into a space where all they need is the education and the access. How do you think that you, especially with your platform, might be able to push that farther, faster?
I mean, just continuing to bring these types of um, nuggets to people's conscious, but they have to be searching for it, unfortunately, right? So that's the problem. That's the challenge, is to get people to search and want to know more, and not be sedated by the latest TikTok dance, or what sports team is running, winning. So there's a lot of blockers, a lot of distractions that people have to overcome. Again, that's a personal thing, and we all are at certain levels, right? And we just, in life, you should just strive to be the best human being that you can be. And so I'm just trying to add to that and help people and help myself as well, you know,
Yeah. Well, the
along the way.
irony is, as you talk about getting these IRL, these real life meetups happening in Detroit, in your home city, fundamentally we're talking about this, these major advances in technology, but yet it almost feels like it still is coming down to bringing people into one room and talking about it in real time, which to me, I feel like we got to bridge that a bit. And as useful as it is, obviously I love building community, having us all together, we can look each other in the eye, but still we do want to advance the momentum of adoption. And as people still attend crypto conferences and blockchain conferences and AI conferences, I mean, I see everybody and their cousin as a conference, but is that really reaching the people that we know need it the most? And
not at scale. It's most likely a preaching to the choir thing. So you have to, especially the big conferences. But what I'm attempting to do here in the city, hopefully, is more organic and would catch the attention of individuals that might not normally stop through. So I'll try to get, you know, um, maybe entertainers and people from the entertainment world or sports world to come by to get kind of that carrot, right, to get people who normally wouldn't come check out web and blockchain and AI to come by and maybe get a little bit more interested. So those
yeah.
are some of the things I'm going to try to implement.
Well, I look forward to seeing, what you're going to do more of in the space, because what you've done already has made such an impact, and you've onboarded people in ways that, I'm sure you can't even, track, that you can't even quantify how many people
Right.
just by dropping onto your channel or meeting you or being at a conference and just engaging in that conversation has brought them down the rabbit hole that is, given them access that they didn't know they would have before. Just let's, close off by telling us more about what you have coming up on the channel, the projects that you have in the works. I know you're launching something more in the new year that we'll hear, more about. Talk to us about, what's in play and where we can follow you and keep track, and what we need to do to stay on the precipice of what Crypto Blood is up to
Yeah.
for
So
2025.
yeah, again, the YouTube channel, it's growing. I'm implementing a lot of new ideas and topics to the channel. So you'll see that I have a second channel called The Red Nugent 2, TOO. And that's strictly all my non-crypto related content that I repost over there. So I can start building that channel as well. But just informing people, having fun, educating people, and just bringing the awareness of blockchain and AI is critical. So I hope to see people over there. Crypto Blood on _ on Twitter, Crypto Blood on IG. I'm starting to get more active on IG finally. I don't really like IG, but I'm most active on Twitter at Crypto Blood _ and of course on YouTube, The Red Nugent Crypto Blood.
I
So I'm
love
looking
it.
forward to seeing you guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and for those who didn't know, Crypto Blood and Yoga Boss, we had Crypto Bay J, Trek, we had our Twitter space
Yeah.
running for the Revolution, which
Oh
was a
yes.
vibe, by the
It
way.
was a vibe. We might have to think about restarting that with some new people.
Some new people, and I don't know, I'm just going to drop this into space. I've been dipping my head into Blue Sky a little bit, and just because being in the wellness space, there's a lot of presence of the wellness community there. That might not be a bad place to start a little trend with some of this information. I'm just planting seeds. Crypto Blood.
Okay. All right. Hey, I love when you drop some knowledge, some nuggets. I'm listening. I'm picking them up.
I love it. Well, it's always just a blessing to connect. We always really, I feel like the conversations that we have are laying the foundation for other people to investigate a little more, to learn a little more, to have at least a pathway to get down into the rabbit hole of crypto, blockchain, Web3, emerging technology, and the work that Storj Institute and Crypto Blood have done collaboratively together, and the things that will support each other in doing the future, certainly are really good ways to get on the bandwagon of emerging tech and where things are going. So let's just keep the conversation going, and can't thank you enough, Crypto Blood, for taking the time. I know you got a lot going on. It's a blessing to take the
Yeah,
time to
thank
talk.
you. Thank you, Storj Institute. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Christine. I love you guys, and look forward. Are you going to be at Art Basel this year?
I've been. Art Basel was just this past
Oh,
week.
is this
I was Art
past? This past?
Basel.
Did you go? You went down
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I was there, deep dived. I was in some of the NFT exhibits. I was at the Faina and Fountain Blue, and if you go, just go on Miami Beach, you'll see the elephants installation that they have. They have 100 elephants out there on Miami Beach. I was there, so yeah, Art Basel has been a thing, and Bit Basel did a really good job with
So
pulling
Bit
things
Basel,
together.
yeah. How did it do?
Yeah, we had, it's, I don't know what the numbers were, but traffic was crazy from the very beginning, from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I opt out of the weekends down there unless I'm, immersed in the midst of something, but it was huge this year, and so much more digital art, so much more AI, so much more tech. And, I feel like the amount of creativity that's coming out of the artists and the innovators and the tech entrepreneurs in the space are just being showcased there. And I think those are the major pivot points, like the Bit Basel and Art Basels, the consensus conferences, some of the Bitcoin conferences. Those are some of really that move the needle on people having the opportunity to really showcase what they're working on, because we're head down in projects, nobody knows what's going on until they're launched. But I feel like it's at those events that we're able to really see what's coming out in the space. And yeah, it's always big things at the Basels.
Yeah, I know. I enjoy them.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely catch up, because I want to know when you're ready to launch Crypto Blood. We're ready to hear about it. So definitely keep us informed, and we'll keep posting on the Storj Institute channel, and we'll have all of Crypto Blood's information, contact information, all of his channel information listed. So definitely tune into what he's up to, so that you can be the first one to know what Crypto Blood knows.
There you go.
All right. Thanks so much.